Hello, and welcome to Garblag Games. This is Star Trek Morpheus. Hello and welcome back to episode 6 of Star Trek Morpheus, the Garblag Games Star Trek Adventures show. I'm Pete, and in a moment we'll go around and everyone will say who they are, who they're playing or what they're doing here. But before we do, please don't forget to go and check out our Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. If you're watching us on YouTube, please go and check out our podcast. If you're listening to us on our podcast with our wonderful sound effects, then please go and check out our YouTube channel as well. We have a growing Discord, lots of people on there. We've got a patron-only channel, which I recently added a couple more people to because we've got a couple more patrons on our Patreon. Our wonderful people who support the channel and help us to get all the kit and equipment and games and dice and all the stuff that we use on the shows. Thank you for supporting us if you do. If you don't, please go and have a look. We've got links below for all of these things. 10% of all of our Patreon money goes to Diabetes UK. Even though a lot of our viewers aren't in the UK, it's a great charity and a great cause to give to something that's close to our hearts here in this very room. What else do we have to talk about? The Thornless Rose Kickstarter, which is fully funded at time of recording.
800%?
800% fully funded. And I have here one of the wonderful dice bag kits. We've got little flyers for the
You should really make it so they know what it looks like.
Well, this is what people get, you know, so that's
A box.
a box with these triangular leather sections with numbers stamped into them.
Or not, if you wish to stamp your own numbers into them and add your own leather dies, there is a muggle option, which is just the kit with the bare leather.
Absolutely, there is. And there's stickers and various other things. There's different pledge levels. And they're unlocking stretch goals as we speak.
They're having to create new ones.
I know.
Can you get one with just 20s on it, like a cheating one?
You could get a blank one and make it own, or ask Rose nicely.
You could buy 20 of them and take all the 20s. There you go, Rose.
Yes, oh, when I roll ones.
Oh no, I've made the wrong one.
Maybe if you ask Rose really nicely.
Just make one all 17s.
Yeah.
And then people may not question.
Yeah.
Anyway, so please go and check out the Thornless Rose. The links are below for the Facebook page and for their Kickstarter, which, depending on when you're watching this, may be finished. What else do we have? We have our other shows. We've got our Dark Heresy show on the Edge of the Emperor's Light. We have our D&D 5e Planescape show. Planescape show? I said that right, didn't I?
Plain showscape, no.
Plain showscape. The Dark of the Cage. And we have our Scion RPG Vostok's Chance, which is up to, I think, 8 episodes now. So that one's chugging along. That's a good one. But there are lots of fun fighting giant spiders and things. So, and generally mad capers. So, yeah, lots of fun. Anyway, I think that's about it. Other than for Free RPG Day, which is the 15th of June, I believe it is. It's the third weekend of June.
I'm nodding at idea.
I am releasing a free RPG that I'm currently writing. It's going to be a 3-page RPG. I was saying 2. As I'm writing it, things are sort of taking a little bit longer. The rules will be on 2 pages and character creation will be on the 3rd page. And then I've just edited that. There'll be a 4th page, which will be the character sheet. So it'll be a 4-page RPG. But that's going to be given out to my patrons, hopefully by the end of the week. And on the 15th of June, free to everybody else for Free RPG Day. So have a look out for that as well. And we're going to be running some competitions soon coming up. Some giveaways on Facebook and Twitter. So please go and check those out. But anyway, without further ado.
Well, I'm Adam, and I'm happy to be running this little Star Trek Adventures game.
I'm Sam, and I'm normally playing Dr. Kren, the ship's medical officer, but as we are probably mostly focusing on the bridge a bit this week, I have a support personnel who's Lieutenant Lees, who's the helm officer.
Hello, I'm Keith. I'm playing the currently undead Andorian captain, Sorrel Thavaiak of the USS Enterprise.
Not dead.
Is it undead?
Not dead.
Hi, I'm Dan, and I'll be playing the Vulcan Tactical Officer, Commander Zelvok.
Who, importantly, has a point of determination left.
And is in
For the
charge.
Star Trek.
And is
And is currently in charge because he's got a point of determination left.
Yes, and I am Pete, and I'm playing Griot Tovon, the Cardassian science officer. He's lieutenant commander. Depending on how things go, might get promoted. Don't
Get a medal.
but yeah, we'll see. No, I just meant if the captain dies again.
Yes. Oh, right. Not...
Yeah, no, not for his. Yeah, I don't expect any thanks from the captain.
Current captain.
Current, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know what you did. I was dead.
Yeah. This is true. This is true. Cool. Okay, speaking of what we did, what did we do?
Well, where to start?
I managed to fight. I fought valiantly against the Jem'Hadar Primus, and he killed me very, very swiftly.
No, it was a glorious battle.
With absolutely no resistance due to
It was 2 rounds of hand-to-hand combat, which was the most pitiful showing any Starfleet captain has ever given.
No. It was a glorious fight against a well-armed, well-trained
This is true.
Jem'Hadar warrior.
Not only
Yes.
like a first, but the first of firsts.
Who was also a kind of
Stats went-
changeling.
His stats went that high.
No,
Anyway,
The stats were a little higher in
Yeah.
areas of command and science. The Jem'Hadar first. Other than that, it was basically a
you were
Jem'Hadar
just
first.
unfortunate with your rolls, weren't you? You had some
It was a lot
bad,
with his rolls,
you had a bad roll
Keith
day.
could not roll literally under a 12 last week.
I thought it was a very good death. And
He
it's
was
something
just
to be
letting
proud of.
his crew shine.
Yeah.
Put the crew first.
I
Basically
was
putting over
providing
your
a
crew.
distraction.
So I threw an overloading Type 1 phaser, handy that they're small, made a distraction with an explosion.
It snuck in when you brought his little
Had, yep. And we put a little tracking device in your Ushan.
Clearly why you
Indeed.
lost.
And
Yeah.
It was off balance.
It was
and I
slightly off balance.
screamed to beam up as I ran across the room as he was holding your corpse in the air and kind of grabbed you, and we got beamed into the med bay. Onto
Where
the
is
bed.
my shot?
It's somewhere.
It's
It's somewhere.
It was probably still in your hand when you beamed into
You
it.
had to be holding it, otherwise we wouldn't
Yeah, I
have
was
been
gonna
beamed
say,
out.
definitely would have got back, because otherwise, yeah.
I strongly suspect it's in bed then.
Otherwise, it would have been Yushan in the red bay, and you guys just on the ground.
That would have been hilarious. To beat. Oh no!
Now I'm just hugging the captain's corpse.
Just like we were taught in the Obsidian. I mean, sorry.
It's all about the blue.
Fortunately, we have a really good doctor and a really good ship.
Yes.
So I was only mostly dead. I got better.
You were temporarily dead. Temporarily.
Yes. Yeah, you got
And
revived.
that happens. It's fine. It was
And-
all...
And my spine's been like sewn back together. So I'm going to.
So widdly whipped back together.
Lasers.
Well, spinal cord regenerator.
That's
I'm
it.
pretty confident. Neuro regenerator, almost definitely.
That's the one.
And there's probably clamps and stuff in there as well.
Probably.
So I've gone to go sit in engineering while Commander Zelvok deals with the Jem'Hadar ships.
Acting captain.
Indeed,
Yeah,
acting
so-
Captain Zelvok. Acting Captain
Because
Zelvok.
I'm
Easy one.
currently not well enough to be in command.
And your tactical
not-
skills mean you should not be in command during the
Hey,
ensuing combat.
no!
Shippy tactics he's quite good at.
I'm joking.
Leadership
I'm joking.
tactics.
I'm joking.
Also, in the meantime, Dan had managed to beam enough of the population of Bajor onto Deep Space Nine that they had actually
But
retaken.
there's no space for anyone to
They
move.
had retaken.
Still big about
They had retaken it from the Jem'Hadar. We've beamed some Jem'Hadar onto the bridge, but some keep disappearing, which is a worry.
Yes.
So we don't know if they're on Deep Space Nine. Emissary's Testament, or possibly on the ship,
Yes.
Yeah.
or in
Or
space.
just
The
shrouded.
brig.
We did bring them to brig, but they've got their weird shrouds. It's probably more likely on the station.
Yeah, they're just hiding on the station.
There's ones on the
somewhere, I
station that haven't been accounted for yet, and we think it's the shroud. But
We do have.
you did beam half of Bajor on, so I'm sure they will eventually flush them out. But yeah, it is
Well,
not.
you did deploy security teams.
Many
Many.
security teams.
No, on our ship.
Yes, just in case any of them are shrouded and up here.
Yeah, there was almost
Yes.
yes. It would be
I
unusual.
would hate to be sitting in engineering and get killed again.
I think
that
that
would be really entertaining.
I think that would be hilarious, Adam.
Make
Please
for a
do it.
great video.
What was that old Torchwood episode? They keep killing Susie. They just kept killing one of the main characters over it.
Torchwood passed me by. I missed that one, unfortunately.
In the beginning, when it was all right, they had an episode where they just kept killing one of the main characters. So, repeatedly. So,
Like South Park.
sort of.
And the fact that the main character was, invincible.
Well, not that main character, obviously, you can keep killing him. Anyway, it doesn't matter, but if we keep killing...
Like Captain Scarlet.
Yes.
Surveyor.
Cool.
Right.
And then some ships appeared.
Yeah.
Yes.
Demanding... Well, we had a bit of a conversation with Primus first, didn't we?
Yeah.
Saying, "Oh, give me the ship," and we were like, "I don't think so."
Yeah.
He's like, "Ah!" And then
You're not
some
having a
ships
ship.
appeared.
Get over it.
And
And
when
then
I'm
we
just...
went to the
Stop throwing a
conference
temper
room.
tantrum.
Anyway, I'm just going to escape if that's all right now, and you are dogs.
So,
Yeah.
then we had a brief conference.
Yep.
Sort of
A la
Star
Picard
Trek,
style.
Picard style. Yeah, Star Trek Picard style. Where we decided to engage the Jem'Hadar. So now we have...
I think you were like, "We fight."
Yes,
He was.
we fight. So we find ourselves in a situation where the Jem'Hadar's tactical objective is to basically get at least a minimum of one of their ships to Deep Space Nine, where they can pick up their boss and take him back to their territory, whilst engaging us with probably 2 other fighters. So somehow we need to be engaging all 3 fighters to stop them from picking up their
They're a
boss
bit bigger
man.
than a fighter, aren't they? But they're not.
Yes. Well,
It's
They're
a
attack
it's-
fighters.
it's
They're
a
slightly
Yeah.
bigger.
yeah. I don't remember.
They're
actually what
sort
the
of
image
defiant size.
a
Maybe
little
a
bit
bit
smaller.
Just
Smaller.
slightly smaller,
Actually, no, they might be the same size, actually.
but not as heavily armed, are they? Is it defiant?
No, not quite as heavy.
Shall I show the tactical map?
Sure. Sure, I've made 2.
Can you see that?
Bit more.
Not to scale.
Yeah. So we've got Emissary's Testament, the station formerly known as Deep Space Nine.
And Terran Law.
Got the Denorius belt around here.
Well,
Here we go. That's probably a bit better. Empty space. We've got Com Station, Bajor 10, and Bajor.
Is Bajor 10 a colony?
No,
It's a moon.
no, it's not. It's
That's
another.
so more-
It's another planet in the
Okay.
system. It's the one
Cool.
because I looked at maps of the Bajoran system today.
Yeah.
So you've got like this big plasmary kind of belt thing, the Denorius belt.
Is that the moon that Romulan put the medical facility on?
No, that was actually a moon of
torpedoes?
Bajor.
Okay.
This is just another planet in the system that just happens to be in the orbit between before actual Bajor, because Bajor is strictly speaking Bajor 11.
Oh, okay. Right.
I was
Good to know.
saying,
And it's further out.
I was about to say that's a strange numbering system, but you've just answered that.
So yeah, basically the sun's actually over here somewhere.
Yeah.
For sort
So
of
Deep Space
in,
Nine
and then
is
Deep Space
closest to the
Nine's
sun,
first.
and then
If sort of
Bajor
you go out from the system, and obviously
Okay.
9 other planets,
Yeah.
and then the Denorius belt, and then Bajor 10, and then Bajor 11, which is normally just called Bajor because it's the one people actually live on.
Yes.
And that's got 5 moons, or maybe 7 moons, I forget, but 2 of them were named. And I think the Romans placed they're based on one of those 2, or it might have been like another random bit. I can't remember
Yeah.
which one it was.
They did just keep saying Bajor number. They like.
Yeah.
I'm sure they figured it.
See, I didn't realise the Denorius belt was actually in the Bajoran system. I thought it was outside the...
Yeah, no, there's like an Elcar's like glimpse. I think it's someone that someone's gone into and blown up, so you can see the Denorius belt,
See, we did not.
and
yet.
it's just like it is like a big belt, like the Cooper belt in our solar system that goes round
Okay.
around the sort of middle of the solar system. Or
Yeah, we
asteroid belt.
found this out today, 'cause in my head I always assumed Phasia was nearer the star, and the
Yeah.
station and the wormhole were further out, but apparently they're not, so around.
Yeah.
And different things relate to
Wow.
Yeah.
There we go.
That is. I tell you what. I fucking love Deep Space Nine. It's my favourite show of it, and I'd always thought Deep Space Nine was further out.
Yeah, apparently
Learn
not.
something every day.
Apparently not, according to my research today. I could be entirely wrong. I could be
Memory
entirely
alpha.
wrong,
Comment
but
below
That's true.
if you
Memory
disagree,
alpha, we think, but
or any links where you
It
can
would
send
make sense,
information.
though, why the changeling that was Bashir piloted that runabout to the star
Yes.
to try and
Good point.
make it blow up.
Yep. Cool.
So, yeah. And the comm satellite station is not something I've mentioned, but I think it's part of the thing you're transporting people through when you're transporting all of them onto the station. It's part of the transport network between Bajor, because again, it's quite a long distance. It's like 160 million kilometres from DS9 or the wormhole to Bajor. Roughly.
So about
Obviously,
one
they're
AU.
in orbit, so it varies.
About 1 AU.
Yeah, probably. I don't know. But obviously it varies because they both orbit and I think at different speeds.
Yep.
So, but yeah, they're quite distance away.
Mm-hmm.
Because that's how far, they mentioned in the first episode, that's how far they had to move DS9.
Yeah.
So it's at least some points it's that distant.
So I remember something somewhere. Someone said, "Oh, Bajor is like it's only half an hour away," and then Bajor, "Oh, it's it's 3.5 hours away."
Yeah.
Yes, because Bajor goes around the sun.
Yes, there are many easy ways to explain the distance of plot. So, one thing I was going to ask was that, having looked at recommendations in the book, and I'm not sure if I've read it myself, but it's a new system to me as well, it does recommend that if you want a roughly even match, and you should not do this too much, since this is probably the first main space fight, if it comes to that, you shouldn't sort of outscale the players. With the amount of ships, and I did bring in scale 3 ships, and your ship is scale 6. That would be somewhat outscaling, and because there are 4 of you, and you'll get a turn, and I get a turn for each scale of ship, as it were. So I would be also getting 9 turns for your 4 turns, and that would be a bit boring. So if you don't mind, I'll only have to actually be 2 coming in, just some sensor shadow or something,
Sure,
and give myself 3 threat back for that I spent for it before.
One rethinks the issue and just goes away.
No, I've clear up the sensor.
Yeah,
Clearly,
yeah.
the Vulcan can't use the sensors properly. I'll clear up the sensors.
Is that all right?
Captain.
He's captain.
There's
Go home.
There's actually a
you
sensor.
drunk.
There's actually a sensor glitch. There's only 2 Jem'Hadar attack fighters.
That certainly doesn't prove our odds.
Yes, and they also have quite a security, which he says is dangerous. So I thought, yes, just for that reasons, and also for me not taking more than double the amount of turns of you guys.
Yeah. I can see why you.
Is it possible, being that we're a holographic ship, to create another ship?
Not really,
Thinking multi-vector assault mode.
Yeah, why not?
because you've got one ship that displays the holograms, and they can't do a huge long distance.
But could they do it at distance?
No.
Could
not
we
easily.
look like 2 ships flying very close together?
More or less docked, yeah. I mean, the holograms are not set up to be to generate at a long distance. The biggest they can do is they can scale out. You could look like 2 ships flying very close together, I guess, but
strangely
it would
No,
take most of the energy of your thing.
Okay.
Trying to figure out a way that we can engage both fighters rather than one.
I suggest you use the weapons.
Yeah, that as well.
Hang on.
So the disembodied voice from engineering.
No, weren't we in the conference room
backseat
just having a...
backseat captain.
He's actually happening, isn't he? Yeah. One would think he just had his,
Gizzards
spinal cord
ripped out.
severed.
Can you see my pencil case? In case I need to write anything down at any point.
Yeah, I got a pencil out of it.
Oh,
Because
you
it's
hidden
speaking
behind something.
PowerPoint.
I seem to have left my pencil case in my satchel over there, but never mind.
What configuration are we in currently?
The tactical one. You changed
Which one's that? This
that one on top.
That one. Marvellous.
Yes, the yellow one.
Just because I might need to know things about it looking at my sheet, I suspect.
That's right, because we had 16 power, and we spent 5 to go.
However, this is Star Trek, and I know you say let's just shoot them, but this is Star Trek, so we've got to do
So
something.
use a fancy manoeuvre.
No, you've got to fire your phasers at like 25% to begin with. Do a Riker, intro shot. We always like doing that.
Putting your eye in. Okay.
Swing your leg over the back of the chair.
So, rules-wise,
Yep.
this is going to be quite rulesy, I'm afraid, because this is the area where there are most of the rules in this system, or at least a lot of them. So, you do draw these basic maps.
Yep.
And these are not to scale by any stretch. They just show zones, basically. And how long it takes to move between zones is sort of...
So that's sort of relative distance rather than actual distance.
And how much stuff and how quickly easy it is to move through different areas and that kind of thing. So, just for a bit of scale... You can basically very easily move between one zone to another. Moving 2 zones requires a bit of power, because to do the impulse. To move more than that in a turn, more than 2 zones, requires going to warp briefly, basically.
Oh, cool.
And power.
Inside the system?
No.
If we don't, there won't be a system. So
Dangerous.
Weapons have an ideal range. So, like, cannons, phaser cannons, are best when you're sharing.
Sharing.
We spent 5
Sharing is
seconds.
caring. Yeah, with phaser cannons. You mean like
In the same
NX kind of
zone.
Yeah, okay.
They need more torpedoes. Here, have ours.
Yeah.
I think. Yeah. Okay. I think that's the range as well. Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
The phaser arrays, which is your other system, the other attacky system, are best done at like 1 away.
Okay.
And photon torpedoes' ideal range is 2 away.
Okay.
For instance, to give again a bit of an idea of scale. Your tactical configuration, which you have moved to, does have mostly sort of things that tactical ships like the Akira, tend to have, talent-wise and numbers-wise. I've tried to pick ones like that.
Lateral torpedo tubes?
Well, this is what I'm going to get onto. So one of the the talents I picked for this one were the ones that were recommended for a tactical kind of mission. So ablative armor, so your resistance is is a bit higher.
Cool.
An improved impulse drive, which means, from what I remember, your impulse means you can travel further on impulse. From what I remember. But there's also a special talent that isn't in the rest of the book that I've made up to show that you can have different levels of phasers. So there are 3 types of phaser. There are arrays, cannons, and another one. I've written this. Banks.
Oh, phaser banks.
Indeed, phaser banks. I've also given you I've used one of the talents to give you cannons, so they're better up close, but you could use them to give the banks as well as the array. And explaining the difference between them would take a bit longer than. So we'll probably get to that a bit later.
Sure. So can we change what they are?
Yeah.
Okay. Cool.
But yeah, you have to spend a power. And it will be like a task to sort of change. Actually,
Okay.
I think I said it was a minor task, but it does take a bit of power to change them. But you can change what kind of weapons you've got.
Yeah.
I've given you quantum torpedoes, so I assume they're fairly standard at this point. But using any kind of photon or quantum torpedoes does give me threat. It's like escalating. It's like doing a lethal attack.
Yeah.
Or we have a photonic cannon.
I can't remember what that one is.
That's the one, the holograph, the emergency command.
Yes.
Episode.
Yes.
Warm up the photonic cannon.
If you like. You'll have to come up with what that means, but yeah. Basically, arrays are the most flexible ones. I think from what I remember, banks are good for hitting like lots of things at once, and cannons are very powerful up close.
Okay.
Back to the generic one. So at the moment you've got like an array, which is like what you've always got because it's non-holographic, and cannons, which is holographic at the moment. The other one I've given you, fast targeting systems, is probably the most swappable, outable one. Fast targeting systems, because you can target different bits of ships.
Okay.
And it's normally a bit more difficult, but with that particular talent it's not.
Okay.
I did also consider, there is one called, I think, is it even, did I forget to print it, I think? Lots of rapid fire torpedo launcher, which is the one the Akira has. So it's firing lots of torpedoes. It's better if you
Giving lots of threat.
if you're firing lots of torpedoes, you get to But basically, whenever you fire lots of torpedoes, you can fire a salvo as well as a single torpedo. Whenever you do that, it gives to give you 3 threat, but
It does a lot more damage.
I was going to say,
you get to reroll any number of dice or a single d20 on the attack, for instance.
Adam, if we fire 20 torpedoes and give you 20 threat, it doesn't matter if the ship that you have the threat for is destroyed.
The problem is you can then spend the threat to bring more ships in.
I could, but that would. So the Sisyphean method. I used the photon array the photon torpedoes to destroy the ship, and then another one appeared because it cost 3 threat. Oh, what fun!
There were actually 3.
Infinite ships. Mahaha.
It's fine. We'll just use holographic torpedoes.
Oh, I just turned to page 222 where it says ramming speed.
That is indeed something
I was about to say, I have this on my thing. It says ramming speed.
Oh, cool.
Ramming ship also receives damage.
I get
Don't
killed
say.
Generate
one
shields.
time,
I think I
and you're
might do that
talking
one.
about ramming other ships.
We're not going to
generate shields.
Well, we're going to do exactly what Dan tells us. So
And the other one I would look at as an idea is certain other things like pursuit type stuff. You don't really have anything in that end of things. Like in your normal version, you have something called improved warp drive, which can save you power when you go to warp. Because basically, to go to warp, to sort of try to run away.
Yeah.
You spend basically as much power as you can, because you're going to spend up your engines. And then, unless someone could spend up to that,
You get away.
you get away.
It's fine.
And if we talked about the
Random,
quantum
I think
slipstream
it's-
drive, there is a talent for that. But again, if you want that to, then that basically allows you to overtake anything, although it's quite a risky thing to try because it's quite hard and it's got a high risk thing, and it also costs a lot of bunch of power. It's another talent you want to think about. So I'm just saying.
Well, let's
now,
not worry about the quantum slipstream
No.
drive. I think we should take them on. Let's get our arrays and cannons sound good. We've got torpedoes.
You've got
So we can
you
do
don't
long
have
range.
the lots of torpedo launcher.
No,
Phaser
that's fine.
arrays, photon
No, that's
torpedoes,
too much
quantum
threat.
torpedoes and phaser cannons.
Yeah,
according to
too
this
much
thing.
threat, I think. I think a couple of torpedoes at long range and get in there and mess them up. What do you reckon?
But again, if we...
Deep Space Nine's got weapons.
Yeah, but we don't have control of the whole station.
No,
yet.
but some of them.
And it will be quite difficult firing them from here because they don't have control. You've only got control,
No,
so you'll be
all I mean is
firing them
in-
from here, and it'll be a bit
Yeah.
latent.
Where are they going to be on here?
Oh, well, they're coming in. I don't think they're coming in around here, but
Where are we?
they probably won't be coming into here. They'll probably be coming into
Somewhere
one
around
of these
Page
two.
or two. And we're next to Emissary's testament.
Well,
Oh no, you moved out.
No, we're not. We moved our weapons.
that was going to be my
We're
next question.
near the wormhole.
Wherever you've had 5 minutes, you could have repositioned the ship more or less anywhere on here. Well, getting to Bajor might have been difficult, but
I think we should go near the wormhole.
but like I say,
That would bring us into weapons range of the station.
again, there's no real.
And
It
he's
doesn't
still
mention
got
maximum
control of
weapons
the-
range, so outside of
think
weapons
I'm
range isn't
worried
really a
about
thing.
that.
But it would be significantly hard to hit you from the station from like here or here outwards.
Yeah, but if we're over this side and they appear near the station, they're just going to go to the station, get the guy, and
Mhm.
sod off. So we do need to block them from the from.
So anyway, we can use the wormhole to our advantage.
Can we go here then?
Can do. There is a possibility. I'm going to use a determination token to represent
Shall I
yourself.
go there?
Yeah.
Because that.
Can we use the wormhole to create some sort of gravity pulse to basically slow them down or pull them together so that it's easier for us to engage because they've been slowed down?
You could try.
Could do. However, I
Roll
think it would be dangerous to try and destabilize the wormhole for this mere encounter.
We can have a go. I mean,
Also, there is a space station right next to it that it would probably do more damage to.
If we try to amplify the gravity well of the wormhole somehow, the station would be in serious danger.
Ah, fuck it. Right, let's
But
just shoot.
I will consider it as a last resort. Acting captain.
It's like, hey, where's it?
ting.
Where's Emissary's testament? It's in the Gamma Quadrant.
Oops.
So,
Back to this former
Okie
commander.
dokie.
There we go.
they're probably going to, warp in more or less next to you. I'm going to use threat tokens to represent them because it seems to make sense. I'm going to. They have power as well. For me to have tokens for it. I have one too few. Yes.
Do you need more power?
I would like another power token.
I have the power.
Indeed. Get rid of the
Third
one.
Crystals. They're very cool.
We have 11.
Thank you.
Are they official things or are they just ones?
No, the ones that Sam kind of found me on the internet of random, not
I
clear
believe
crystals because you
they're
won't be able to
supposed
see
to
them
be
very easily.
used for table scatter at weddings.
Oh.
That's a weird, specific use to have for something.
Table
I
scatter.
was going to say,
Well, the idea is when you have
They're
the
quite
thing in the
big
middle
for
of a
ta-
wedding,
yeah.
like stuff around to look pretty.
Huh.
That's what they're being sold as.
They're pretty big, aren't they? Yeah, it's like.
You
I
want
was
one
going to
to-
say, standing there with a bag of them throwing them.
Ah, yes, the much more environmentally friendly version of confetti because you can pick them up afterwards.
There's absolutely nothing preventing drunk people throwing those at each other really hard.
No.
Or children swallowing them.
children.
They're poor swallowing size as well.
I mean, I think
Just looking at it like.
I think they would be terrible wedding scatter, but they are excellent power tokens.
They are excellent. They look like dilithium crystals. It's great.
Roughly.
Yeah.
Pink dilithium crystals.
Why not?
Okay, so system stuff wise, like I say, there will be a bit of it. I'm sorry for that, but I want to try the system before I rip out half it.
Yeah, it's good actually because before we start, I have seen some feedback online about the Starship combat system, and it would be interesting to see how I won't say.
Oh, we're not playing the retweets, the space combat system now.
The what?
The retweaked one that didn't they re-release it?
I don't know.
I've
We're
not heard
playing
of
it from the book.
Okay.
Yeah, I've not heard of a retweaked
Right.
version. They did a Red Alert, which was skirmishy rules, but I didn't really look at those. I flicked through them, they look the same as the main ones first, and again, they, if anything, a bit more complicated, but I don't remember seeing starships in there.
Okay.
Or spaceships. Okay,
It's a start.
yes, so, these two, Jem'Hadar, I did have a picture up, attack fighters, which, again, if I turn the brightness all the way up, I have turned the brightness all the way up. It's a dark picture, that's those ones.
Yes.
Do you remember these ones?
Yes.
Yes.
I can see
Yes.
Those ones.
It's a
Yay.
Like flying bugs.
It's a
Yeah.
Jem'Hadar fighter.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
Just try to remind what they look like.
Bug in space.
As opposed to, yes, sort of half
I'd
crashed
like-
into a planet.
I'd like to know more.
Okay.
Till those warp in, they have got like shields up. Weapons aren't properly charged yet.
Of
But,
Jem'Hadar
Great,
War
shoot
and
them.
Really?
I'm just tired.
Sorry?
Yeah.
You said their weapons weren't fully charged.
Yes.
Fire.
But so two ships have just appeared, not done any aggressive action, and you're just firing at them.
Oh.
I'm
Watch
gonna,
out. Are they powering? Can I see if they are powering their weapons?
not yet.
No. So they're not.
Not yet.
Oh, right. Well,
Captain
now
Tom to open
Just-
it.
you can fire them if you want. I thought I should. There's probably some sort of training going in your mind. They haven't actually done anything yet.
If that doesn't stop Zelvok.
No. Hold on. We know that these. Didn't we know that they'd come from the
They
Jem'Hadar
haven't
territory where
communicated
this
with us.
guy's.
Primus has and said, I'm going to leave now if it's all right with you. And then some ships turned up. So
You remember all the
Jem'Hadar
whole file, and this
fighters.
would definitely fall
if you-
into this.
Yeah, if you want to write it all in your after-action report, you might want to say, I hailed them before I
Hailed
flew
them,
them.
informed them.
You know that thing where Worf, thought the ship appearing was the bad guys and blew it up, but it was all a trick in the end.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Okay, well,
Maybe-
yes.
Hail them and
This could be full of
The trial
tiny
of what-
Jem'Hadar.
Yeah.
Hail them and
Tiny
explain.
babies.
Hail them and explain he's under
Maybe
arrest and
died
they
on a
can't take
previous
him.
accident.
Then they'll fire on you. Then you can fire back.
So you're basically saying that they have to fire on me first before I can do
No,
anything.
they
Captain,
can
They're hailing you.
Captain, I've raised shields.
just, they're hailing us.
We were sure sent last week. Anyway,
They're really raised.
I'd love it if Riker said
Have
that
we
on
gone
the
to Red
show.
Alert yet?
we did that last week.
I went red alert.
Yeah, he got to go red alert. He was very happy.
Oh dear.
So those engineering crews running around changing the light bulbs.
Yeah.
Okay.
They'll be hailing you
Oh,
if
the
you're not hailing
holographic
them
light
anyway.
bulbs.
Comms, Mr. Toban.
I'll put it on the main screen.
A Vorta woman appears,
No, I'm
dressed
confused.
traditionally,
My eyes narrow.
and says, greetings, Starfleet starship. We saw that there was there seemed to be some sort of difficulties happening in your system. Is everything all right? Is everything happening that we can aid you with? Here?
I'm scanning their vessels.
No.
For any, what they're doing, power signatures, all that kind of stuff.
Okay, well, yes. No, scanning them was, yes, I was going to do that at some point, so since you said you're
I'm
doing
going to roll control and
There was a.
science. I believe that's scanning, isn't it?
yes, you could do scans and science, and remember you'll be aided by the ship.
Oh, I will be the ship.
Okay, it'll be sensors and...
Are we sure we want him doing that?
It's just one dice, isn't it?
Yes, there's
'cause
one
you're
dice.
assistant.
Sensors and...
Do we have any momentum?
No.
We have
Did
two.
you just drop it on the floor?
No. It rolled on the floor.
You're not allowed to roll dice anymore.
So what are you using on the ship?
What are we assisting with? Sensors and...
Sensors and...
Yes, it's fine. It's a pass. You get plus one, whatever.
So it wasn't low enough to be underneath the department then?
No.
No,
Good.
So you got one, I got two, and...
Keith has lost his dice.
I didn't need the third dice anyway, right?
Well, I'm going to keep him talking while this is going on.
Mm-hmm.
I
We
would
had a situation on board the space station, but this is now contained. Please identify yourselves.
Scanning.
Initially, how many successes did you get?
3.
3. Okay. So you've got one over there, then you said something about generating an extra
I
momentum.
generate an extra momentum when I'm helped by the ship with a scanning thingy. I'm science officer.
Have momentum.
So we get 2.
2 momentum. Jolly good.
What's going on with their power systems? Are they like pre-prepping their weapons?
See, that was a good roll.
That was a good one.
They're definitely scanning the station.
Okay.
No, thank you.
Another thing you notice when you are scanning around is that about the time that they appeared, the life signs of Primus and the other people on the in ops on Emissary's Testament disappear. So when we
Ooh.
roll for them.
like shrouded disappear. Or just disappear. Okay.
I was going to say,
They're just gone.
this would be shrouded. It could cover other things like,
Could be
I don't
beamed
know,
out.
some sort of interference field. There's a lot of things. They're
Sure.
signals
Okay.
disappear. Okay.
Maybe they're jamming us.
It's just jam.
Yeah, I was going to say that.
Sorry. Anyway, focus. Here we go.
Strawberry.
Star Trek.
Right, so that wouldn't go that badly for them. Okay.
So they beamed into space.
And then we shoot.
Did you roll badly, sweetheart?
Yeah, I did. I got no successes, no complication with them trying to climb down a lift shaft. I was like, difficult. I'm going to be.
They fall down the bottom of the shaft and break their
They
necks.
fall down the lift shaft onto some bullets.
Onto some spikes at the bottom of the lift. Left over from the Kardashian.
Primus has a sort of changeling cohesion
Problem.
moment and is now being carried around in a bucket by somebody.
Sure. It's a pail.
It's a pale bucket.
It's a bucket. It's a bouquet.
We'll say that, yeah. We'll say that what happens is that a bunch of them seem to be coming up the shaft, forced him to be attacking ops through a shaft, like
Okay.
one of the various troops and other people you put on board. That they seem to. There's lots of weapons fire, and then there's suddenly lots of dead signals appearing of Jem'Hadar, but not one that matches Primus's particular signature. We'll say.
Someone called the turbo lift while they were climbing up the shaft.
No.
No, they got attacked. Someone jumped them while they were climbing down the shaft.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
It looks like Primus might have slipped there.
I think we'll say for
Nice.
now.
But all the other Jem'Hadar are murdered brutally.
Yes, indeed. Good.
Good.
Yes,
They
and
didn't
Uncom's,
kill all of our officers that were left in the room with them. I don't
That's
think
true.
that's wholly unreasonable.
Uncom's, like I say, off of this main thing, sideways, whoever's on comms. I don't know who's on comms, if it's Con or...
Well, I was.
you're talking the main comms, but sideways comms. I assume you've
Like
quieted
all
the channel
stuff
from
going on.
ops.
Yeah. Got the thing in your ear.
Yeah, I was going to say someone might have
Yeah,
something in their ear. I
yeah.
don't know if it's navigation and the con that would have it. Strictly speaking, it would normally be tactical.
It could be her.
But
I gave you the cut signal. No, I gave you the. I was agreeing with you like I know where the hold button is.
so I don't know.
I think
Yeah.
it'll be.
Probably.
Ops or navigation?
Let's have it for. Let's
Yeah,
have
helm and
let's
navigation.
use. Right.
Right.
So what's she here?
You hear them basically, the force field people, including like the captain of the station and like their main security, to say that they're shrouded and they seem. But beyond that, they can't say what's happened. They've all gone. But there's been some phaser fire in the turbo lift shaft, and they had lots of shouting and screaming and unhappiness. And
What was her name? The Bajoran captain.
I
I assume my character will know. Because
Name Edo.
Edo.
Is it Edo?
yeah, something like that.
So
We were
Captain
playing out.
Edo and her staff aboard the aboard ops inform us the Jem'Hadar shrouded and approached the lift shaft, but they've now heard an exchange of fire.
But the other things, so you scan
Yeah,
that.
it seems that there was tactical officers repelled most of them, but I can't seem to locate Primus.
And at the same time, you also
Captain
scan
Edo can't
that
see him
these
not.
guys are scanning the station quite a lot, and like
Are they focused in on the ops area or just generally?
well, around as much as they can
Yeah.
because the shields are kind of half up, and they're kind of edging. Like,
Yeah.
One of them's
They're trying to
edging
find him.
that way.
Yeah.
Sidling.
Like-
From engineering, I'd
Yes.
like to try and jam their scanners, please.
Okay.
So, signal jamming?
Sure. I mean,
I'm going to have a conversation with them at some point.
this is not. We'll get to
No,
terminal.
just the scanners.
We're all pressing buttons rapidly.
I can say so. Terminal-wise, you all have terminals that you're supposed to be on. You can do any of the actions on all of these different sheets, but normally the one sheets you've got in front of you are the only ones your terminals are for. So if you do want some other terminals, it's one step more difficult.
Okay.
And communications is not probably being currently based out of engineering. As we've just said, it's currently based out of helm navigation, because it would be a weird place to base communications.
Captain's override.
It's because the control setup isn't meant for that.
Fine.
you know.
Yeah, the configuration of your
Different
buttons
screen,
doesn't
different
match
screen.
it, and you know.
And
Can't
also,
he change the screen?
Yeah,
Well, that's what he's
they're
doing,
all on
but-
Windows 10.
Yeah.
and the comm
You can
system
move the main
works better on Windows
communications
7, they haven't
console down
upgraded
there
it.
if you want, but then it would take it off the bridge. And I don't think that'd be how it would traditionally be set up. So you could do that, but again, that would be a task of its own. I would say.
Okay.
Yeah?
Yeah,
I agree
yeah.
with your reasoning on it.
It's also how the rules work. There is a main terminal for doing any of
Sure.
the particular roles. There's lots of roles. There's like 10. Communications is one of them. And mostly they're condensed into like one station.
Navigator, helm, command, sensor, security,
So, and-
oversight, tactical, communications, internal.
I mean,
Yeah.
I'm down in engineering because, basically I'm not allowed to be in command because I've been relieved, and also I was dead. And secondly, I didn't break my agreement. You did.
That's fine. Like you can do the communication stuff. It will be slightly more difficult than it would be from the main station.
No, that's fine. So it's an extra difficulty.
So yes, going by their difficulty, it will be difficulty 3.
Okay.
Does the ship help
Yes.
with it?
Always.
You roll for the ship.
I will roll for the ship. With presumably it's comms and
Engineering.
engineering.
Yeah, I'd let that one.
So 11.
Ship don't help.
Ship don't help.
Ship is in a mood.
Ship says no.
He can't roll.
No, because it's control and engineering.
That's true, actually. To be fair,
Oh, hang on.
you can.
That's three. I've rolled 14, 15, and 15, and that's 3 successes.
How do you roll 3 dice? What? You only roll 2 dice by default.
Unless you spend a momentum and get another die.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Anyway.
It's 3 successes.
Okay, yep, you're jamming the scans.
Woo.
But did you want any more information on the scans of what they were doing?
No, it seems
Do you
quite
want to
clear at the
swap?
moment.
No.
But in the meantime,
Captain.
This
they
is all
seem
happening
to be
over this
trying to find
conversation.
them.
So, I was going to
just
say.
keeping
Yeah, I know.
No,
Yeah,
exactly. Full of my eyes.
But all of that information, that interruption will happen a bit after this conversation starts, however.
There was an incident aboard the space station. This is now under control. Please identify yourselves.
Oh, well, I'm Renath. It's a pleasure to meet you. I don't think we've met before.
From what organisation do you represent?
Oh, we're following the mystery of the founders. We're a small independent group of Jem'Hadar and a few Vorta that help guide them.
You have entered Federation territory without invite. Please leave, or you will be fired upon.
Well, that seems very aggressive.
No, given the nature of the situation.
Yeah,
I think it's fair enough.
yeah.
Or you will be fired upon.
No, really, we were just here to visit an old friend.
You've got till the count of 10.
No,
I will switch on my chronological device and put it on the screen. And it will start counting down.
but there's no need to come for that sort of any kind of conflict. Really, aren't you willing to talk out this situation?
6, 7, 8. Do they leave?
Yes, they leave.
I'm really glad they didn't. Right, let's shoot him.
Wait till they fire fast.
No, I think
No, there's no need.
Yeah, it's true.
We've given
we know
them,
why they're here.
we know what the situation is.
Yep.
They've come into Federation territory without invite. It's quite a
Is that ship
crisis
still
situation.
sliding like... Oh, I'm
You guys
sideways
have done
drifting.
your bit, and
Yep.
we've got that information.
that's true.
I think it's a justified attack. Shoot
as he
them.
was given a 10 account, they did start moving. So I think I'll give them the first action because you did give them a 10 account.
Yeah,
so they
no,
were
that's
like,
fine.
fine if that's the way you want it, and then sort of the nod. So one of them will start taking. Will yeah, probably just try to. How many did you move? Was this a roll? So there's lots of different things. Let's bring up my notes.
They roll their pilot skill really badly and crash into their friend.
Oh, an ideal roll.
Helm tasks require a
Can you roll for
control and con task with a difficulty of 0.
unless
No,
otherwise.
because I will get
Yeah.
3. I will
Get 3 ones, will you?
Well, so William's already rolled a fail and a complication for him, so let him keep rolling for him and hope that this continues.
Right, do we think that, like, so this belt, the DS9 and the war wormhole, do we think that's difficult territory? Because it seems to be a couple of times, but mostly they just seem to fly through an area of care, really,
I was
don't
going
they?
to say, it's sort of, isn't it also got like asteroids and various other...
Yeah, it's got loads of stuff
It
in
has.
it. But
I think if you're not under any kind of conflict, then I think you can just kind of go through it quite easily. But I think if you're like
Trying to do it in a hurry.
trying to do it in a hurry or watching, we've got to scan that and that and that, you may not be paying as much attention to the
Oh,
belt
look at a
itself.
weird magnetic phenomenon.
It's got a wormhole, dude.
because there is a thing called terrain, and so but that will hurt your ship much more than it hurts their ships because their ships are much smaller, and terrain hurts bigger ships much more than smaller ships. But it would seem roughly appropriate, or it could just be like a difficult navigational difficulties are 1 higher in the navigation belt.
That seems right.
That sounds about right. Because wasn't that where the little ship flew from and like got caught in a little?
It's where they found loads of
solar
stuff. They
sail.
found orbs in it, and they found.
Yeah, he got hit by a solar pulse.
So there's like
That's where they
eddies
had the
and things.
storm.
Yeah.
And they had the big storm where they took the Dax symbiote away. Then they evacuated the station because there was a big storm coming.
Yeah.
So
I think navigation
They found
difficulty
Oda for ages, and they found all the orbs there. So it's got lots of hidden spots.
Yeah.
And they don't fly into it because it is supposed to be hard to navigate. So there should be probably some difficulty in going to
They
it.
just normally go over it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Unless they but they need the wormhole's in it, so they must go through it quite a lot recently.
Yeah.
Just put the deflector up massively and plow.
I like it.
Push all the rocks
How
out
did
of
the
the way.
minefield work then?
It was
over the entrance of the
a
wormhole.
fixed location at the well.
But if the
The wormhole
If the
cleared. No, the
wormhole's
wormhole's
in the-
probably cleared an area around it, hasn't it?
Because every time it opens...
Every time it opens, it goes.
And sucks everything
Yeah,
in.
basically open the first.
So it's probably like a little area around Deep Space Nine and the wormhole that's kind of slightly clearer. I'm sure DS9 probably just like every now and then has to do a little just to like get rid of
insurance
Six
wouldn't
of
let
us.
them do that, with considering fact all the orbs they found there, they could be shooting a rock with an orb on it.
Ah, they found all the orbs now.
It's fine, it's all fine.
The Prophet went louder.
Right.
Yeah, exactly.
Religion happened.
Yeah. Oh, there's an orb in that one.
Yeah.
So they're trying to manoeuvre away from us.
Indeed. Well, they go to high impulse and they basically head over that way. Unless they roll very badly, they'll end up over there. They do not roll very badly. If I remember that and that. So yeah, right. So they got, for instance, 2 successes. This is normally a difficulty 0, as you said. So basically, it requires 1 power. Difficulty 0, but we're saying difficulty is 1 higher.
Yep.
So difficulty 1, they got 2. So I get
Oh.
threat from it.
Oh.
Actually,
You get a
assessment,
threat.
for instance. Yeah. Basically, when I get momentum, I get threat.
Yes.
And yes.
So you can move 2.
Yeah, that's why they have to go into impulse.
Okay.
Is it our go?
Yep.
Right,
Whoever
well,
wants to go next can go next. You choose between yourselves.
I imagine it would be Helm, because we need to get after that one and blow the shit out of it.
Right, I'm doing that then.
Or we can fire a torpedo at it.
Or we can fire a torpedo at it.
Through an asteroid belt.
Well, it's not an asteroid belt. It's just navigationally difficult. I won't say that firing thing. I'll say torpedoes are fine. Just navigating's difficult.
So we
I
can
think.
fire at it and then move, or
Yeah, but it'll be a different action.
Yeah, so we'd do a fire torpedo, then Ned gets
We
to do
get
an
6
action.
actions. He gets 6 actions.
Yeah.
right?
No, you get 4. You get 1 for each of you, and I get 6.
Okay.
So if
Great.
I...
Because I get 1 for each scale of each of the ships, and these are scale through ships.
But I could do mine and say mine is as Helm is to go after them, and then you can do the tactical when we get to your action.
Accurately speaking, this one gets 3, and this one gets 3.
Sure. Yeah. Do you want to move after them? Because they're going to get an action.
I mean, I'm going to do
You
move and you're going to do fight, likely.
Little
Just which one do
question.
first.
Mm-hmm.
When it comes back round to you,
Mhm.
you can use the same ship again, can't you?
Yep.
Okay.
Or the other.
Yeah, sure.
Well, we'll shoot first and then move.
Okay. So you're
Do it. You're shooting.
So what are you shooting?
I imagine I will be.
Well, I think it's going to be a torpedo, isn't it?
It's the ideal range for a torpedo. It's slightly off range for
Phasers.
phasers.
Torpedoes.
Torpedoes create threat.
So, but torpedoes do create threat. So you've got photon and quantum. You do also get minor actions. I feel I should mention, like aiming, which you can do. Mostly they're like changing positions on the ship.
Okay.
The ship does have a couple of minor actions. That's like restoring stuff when it's been damaged, or raising or lowering the shields. That's a minor action. Changing the configuration of your ship is also a minor action, particularly to your holographic ship.
Mm-hmm.
But you get all the minor actions that you get as a person as well. So if you fall over, you can get up. That kind of thing.
Okay, cool.
That's aiming's a classic
we
one.
will be sort of...
Aiming's a classic one because it does allow you to reroll a d20. And I mention all this within the torpedo stuff because some things also require calibration minor action first, like quantum torpedoes, before you can fire them. Photon torpedoes don't, but quantum do because they're a bit more tricksy.
Okay.
So you have to calibrate first, then fire.
Yeah, and
But
right,
it
a
won't
photon torpedo is one threat you add to me. A salvo of is 3. A quantum torpedo is 2. A salvo of quantum torpedoes is 4.
Whoa! Okay.
So,
And how much more... What's the damage scale between a photon and a...
There are 5 little wiggly symbols next to the photon and 6 little wiggly symbols next to the quantum.
indeed.
I don't know what that
I was
actually
going to say,
represents.
generally a rating of 200 isotons compared to 500 isotons. But
so we can fire 4 quantum torpedoes.
Yeah, but we generate 4 threat.
But we could fire 4 quantum torpedoes.
Yes.
Well, it's not 4 quantum torpedoes, it's a salvo. It's
So
a
more
bunch.
than 4.
at
Which-
least 2.
In Star Trek Generations, is 1 torpedo.
Yeah, but
Because Riker says to Worf, prepare a full spread. And then when the Klingon bird of prey,
Yeah.
decloaks, and the shields go down,
Fire.
goes fire, and 1 torpedo goes...
that's because they reused
Because
the
they
graphics
reused...
from the
Yeah,
show.
they reused the...
From the
I know.
undiscovered country.
But it's just
Yeah,
hilarious.
yeah.
So the effects of doing a salvo as opposed to a single one is it does a bit more damage. It also has the effect called spread.
Really tight.
Which...
Oh wait, could I hit the space station if I do that?
Only if you miss.
yeah. If you roll a 20 or something, you could absolutely, by firing a bunch of torpedoes in that
Hit
direction.
Space
But
Nine.
Well,
don't roll a
spend the
20.
momentum to get another D20.
Just don't roll a d20 before. But if you're, that's an absolute complication
And
that
the
could
ship
happen.
helps, doesn't it?
But what spreads does is it means you hit more than one system of theirs at once, which it doesn't normally get. They also almost have high yields, which what does that do? It also inflicts
He's
more damage if it does any
Don't
damages.
That's that roll.
I think that's all it does.
Yeah. So what we doing?
So,
I'm going to fire a
You can roll for the
spread
ship.
of quantum torpedoes.
Right. Are you targeting a particular system of theirs?
But
Like
I
engines or whatever?
can't target as a minor action. My minor action is to calibrate, isn't it?
Yeah, but it's not a minor. Aiming's a minor action, but that just gives you like an ability to re-roll. Targeting a particular system isn't a thing. It just makes difficulty 1 higher, but it means you hit a particular system as opposed to a random
Okay,
system.
what
by
are the
roll.
systems?
They're the ones on the ship, so they're comms, engines, structure.
Computers, sensors, weapons.
Power systems.
Sensors would make it very difficult for them to beam anyone anywhere.
So would having no power.
There's
True.
Yeah,
Engines, if you hit engines, that will lower their power.
that's 2 engines out there.
Okay, engines it is.
also they wouldn't be able to get away.
And the ship helps.
Yes.
Right, okay,
With
so
weapons and
what am I
security?
rolling?
So you roll 2.
Security and...
Shall I roll for the ship?
Can I
roll?
I'll roll for the ship.
control or
No, it's
daring?
probably daring.
Daring?
14.
Yeah, of course
I
it does.
presume the ship is helping
Never
with
look
weapons
at
and security, yes?
Yeah, right. Fire weapon. No, it's a control plus security attack. Security task. It's a ranged weapon, and they mostly are control plus security, assisted by the ship's weapons plus security.
Yeah.
Difficulty 3 for torpedoes.
Control and security.
Difficulty 3.
There is a problem.
4 with. Actually, no, you don't get that because you've got the
Can the
particular
ship?
talent.
Can the ship get complications?
Yes.
The ship's just rolled a 20.
Good work.
Oh, for fuck's
Can
sake!
you-
I thought I told you not to roll!
It was me.
Oh, for fuck's sake! What's wrong with you people?
Oh my god.
You haven't tried to roll
We're
yet.
like
Don't speak
the
too
reject
soon.
crew.
When's the
aren't we?
last time you found a torpedo?
So I forgot you've got fast targeting system, so it's just difficulty 3 for targeting a particular system. Normally it's more difficult, but because you've got that talent in.
Can we re-roll that in any way? Can we spend a
Not
momentum?
because you didn't aim. No.
Determination.
The ship doesn't have any, it's a ship.
Yeah, but you can spend it for it.
Where's
Can I
the
spend-
cat? Someone be nice to the cat.
So no one has a talent that does such a thing.
Shipboard tactical systems? Oh, that's a
Talent.
focus.
Whenever I attempt a task assisted
Yeah.
by the ship.
The ship doesn't have anything that does it. So
Mind
look
meld.
at your talent summary. Dan.
Can I mind meld with the ship?
Mind meld.
No pinch. Mean right
Hook veteran. Can you beat the shit out?
You could be sad about it.
The ship's about to screw up.
I don't get sad. I'm a Vulcan.
You still got to roll. Are you going to spend a point to get another die?
I don't believe you can spend any momentum to reroll any dice unless there's a particular.
No, but I'm gonna.
You can spend a determination to reroll all the dice though.
Yeah, get another one.
Well, as many as you'd like.
Well, can I
wait till you've rolled?
See what his roll's like.
You can spend one. You have to.
You could spend three. You could spend 3 momentum right now to get 2 more dice.
You could. Or determination to get one, but if it only applies to a value. But anyway. Yes, and you can do the determination thing if you've got a value that applies.
Yeah, okay, I'm going to spend all that.
Okay.
Okay. So no, it's not good. Are you sure we can't have it as daring? My control.
13.
Yeah. Never mind.
What? Wow.
Because his daring is his highest.
My daring is
And
for
fitness.
my hand.
What's this on?
He's really good at punching people.
Yeah.
But you've been there for the punching.
I'm a hands-on
segment.
tactical officer.
Is this control and security?
Yes.
So basically,
So I don't even know on one less than you.
Yeah, but
Me too.
But that's fine.
the focus is on the fact he's got.
But if I'd done a
you get
hand-to-hand
more
combat,
successes.
it would have been.
Yeah,
a
he's got
different story.
shipboard tactical systems.
So,
and
yeah.
You've got a focus that's
relevant, which will help.
Oh,
is that
Whoa, I got a 1.
And a 5.
And a 5.
So that's 2,
So that's okay.
and then the others don't
Yeah.
count.
No.
That's
Now,
3, isn't it?
so that's 4 successes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey.
But do you want to spend a determination to reroll those 2 and that one, so you don't get a complication?
Yeah, we don't want a complication. Yeah, so I'll spend that, and we'll
Okay.
reroll that
Who's
one.
going to reroll this one?
Sam,
turn.
what relevant value do we have? So actually,
Oh.
or directive, in fact.
Do you want to roll this one or shall I?
Oh, which directive?
'Cause I didn't roll the 20 again.
The price of pieces
maintain relations with Bajor. Collect remaining crew and families. Protecting people. They could be beaming off all kinds of people. Seek out new life.
I don't see it.
Prime directive, kill Jem'Hadar.
the price of peace is vigilance.
Watch this.
I thought you had a more attacky one. That made
See
more
too
sense.
much to be surprised. The needs of the many? No.
Yeah, needs of the many outweigh needs of the few.
You don't
Price
have a
of peace is
relevant value.
No.
You need to. You can only do that, can't you?
If you've only got.
a relevant value.
Yeah.
Yeah. You should have had something like, I really hate Jem'Hadar.
So I'm afraid you can't reroll that one.
Okay, never mind. Well, we've still
We got 4 successes.
got 6
Successes
4
and a
successes.
complication.
And a complication.
Which is fine, you know, it'll probably spin and crash into the space station. I'm fine with that.
There's a safety knot on that one.
But for the record, I you know.
Yeah.
You
My
were
role
good.
was
It's
fine.
the ship's fault.
For the record.
Did you
I'm
kick
boss.
the cat at any point? Accidentally?
This guy I'm right now.
The cat, who I think there's a whole human-centric thing there, and frankly, not much of the British
So what
crew
we're
argument.
saying
It should be
is-
some sort of other kind of cat.
The ship knows
I think
that,
a Vulcan
that the
cat.
guy that doesn't like the cat is in charge now.
Okay.
No, I don't dislike the cat. I'm a Vulcan.
You have no feelings towards it whatsoever.
Absolutely.
Anyway,
I just question why it's a
Yeah. Emotional attachment to
Human-
small mammalian creatures is strange.
human Terran animal. Why would it not be something
Barclay.
else? The captain is an Andorian.
Barclay.
Starfleet vessel.
Exactly.
Human
It should
Emperor.
be more.
Anyway, what happens?
Okay.
I'm allowed to say that.
Yeah.
We've only got...
Ooh, I know. So yes. Well, let's see what you roll.
I know. Here's the complication.
I've got an idea, but let's see how well you roll on the damage.
Oh, okay.
Oh.
Oh, hang on.
So you rolling
6.
Accidentally punted into
6
warp.
plus the 1 for the salvo.
Yeah.
And you've also got 1 momentum over what you needed, so you could spend that to do extra damage rather than
Yes.
extra damage dice if you'd like.
Do you need
We'll
another
do more
one?
damage.
Yeah, so we've got 1. So
Or you could spend the momentum to re-roll these dice once you've rolled them.
Yeah.
Yeah, see what they're like.
So you're rolling
hold
7
that.
damage.
7. Yeah. Out for reference, right? If he rolled 7 points of damage,
Yes.
what kind? Do we know how much damage that would, like, from our experience?
Well, we can
as
take-
Starfleet
you know,
officers?
I think we can
Well,
take
let's
about
see how much
3-year
20,
war.
can't we?
Okay, and our shields dampen that.
It would definitely cause a breach. Well, actually, no, it wouldn't quite cause a breach.
Just curious. Like,
Okay, so after
well-placed-
you roll the damage, you take off a ship's resistance, which is normally to its scale, which is 3. So I'm going to take 3 off this.
Yep.
After that, if there's 5 damage left, you cause a breach, which is a significant bit of damage. It does something to the ship.
okay,
It'll lose its power and it'll cause a bit of a problem.
okay,
If you knock all of its shields out, that causes a breach. Or if you're doing damage to it while it hasn't got any shields left, that causes a breach.
okay.
And that's the only. And other than that, you'll just be taking off its shield unless you want any of those circumstances.
Who wants to roll the damage?
Boom.
You roll the
And
damage.
because you've got high yield, if you roll effect, you also do extra breaches if you do any breaches.
Ooh.
And you'll hit more than once as well if you get any effect.
And repairing breaches is really, really hard unless you're me.
Indeed. Well, the holographic ship as well. Yeah.
That's it.
Right, here we go. Let's have a look. Oh, ho!
Ooh.
Okay,
Ooh.
you got a few prep ones, but you got 3 effects
Right, they're worth 1 each.
and a double, so that's 5.
Right.
But you've got 3 effects.
So overall damage-wise, 5.
Do we want to re-roll some of those? Do you say we can use the momentum to re-roll some of them?
Any
Was
up to as many as you want, I think.
Well,
We'll just double check.
How many didn't?
Yep, any number of damage types.
Yeah.
Right, okay, so we'll use
Yeah.
that momentum
Do the extra damage.
to re-roll these ones.
Pop those there just so they don't interfere.
See if that gives us anything.
Oh!
So
Jeez.
another
Effect and another
Effect.
3 points of
another
damage.
3 points.
So we've done 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 damage and 4 effect.
Well, number of effects isn't hugely important given the particular thing. Actually, no, this is vicious as well.
Ooh.
Okay, so it's actually an extra damage for that. I've forgotten that quantum breach is also vicious.
Okay.
Slightly better for that reason.
13 damage.
So each effect does an extra damage. So that's
Yep,
13 damage. Right, so that's 13 damage minus 3
10.
for that.
But how many threats are
Don't forget
Yeah.
what's happening there. So
We get 4 threat.
so they have
And the ship
shields.
just fucked up.
So their shield to 10. So sorry, their shield to 11.
He won't forget, trust me.
No, he has
What's
no
that
idea.
we're talking about?
So shields are down from the first one. So that's 10. Actually, no, the shields aren't quite down. So that's 2 breaches of that first one, and then you do a second hit as well for half the damage, rounding up, because you got any effects, and that's the high yield
Okay,
effect,
so 7 damage on that one.
plus 1 for each effect. So how many effects did you have?
4.
Oh no, I added in the effect. So we did 9 damage with 4 effects. So
For the
first
vicious,
attack
that's
was
vicious.
13.
So the first that was
Yeah.
13.
So then the second one was 9, halved is 5.
No, I'm pretty sure you halve it after adding the vicious thing in.
Okay.
Because it says if one of the effects rolled, the attack inflicts 1 additional hit to random system, even if the attack was targeting to a system, it deals half damage to the initial hit. So just
So
half
7.
the initial. Yep, so 7 plus the amount of effects.
4 effects.
So 11. Okay, so that's taken down to 8. So 10 plus 8, so that'll knock out the shields. Knocks out the shields, does that again, so it does 4 breaches. Which is more than the scale of the ship, so it's just destroyed.
Oh!
And Adam's got 4 threat. And
Yeah,
Yeah, you know what?
Yeah.
I'm fine with that.
You did say nicely.
Yeah,
I
76
am a
ships.
very nice Falcon.
Number of breaches. Breach equals a great half.
That seemed more complicated
Destroyed.
than hand-to-hand combat.
It is.
Yes.
You did also pick one of the more
Thank God
complicated
you-
weapons.
Blew it up with 1 shot. Okay, so that one's gone.
Yeah.
One's
indeed.
gone.
So that's gone.
Hurrah! People looking out the windows on the promenade. Cheer!
And then get shot by Jem'Hadar.
I was going to say, no, people on the
And then the debris kind of
Run,
smashes.
yeah.
into the
That's what I was going to say.
Yeah. And then the debris smashes into two.
So yeah, this could be the several quantity just
it's
flies
like-
over.
I was going to say, someone's at the window, was like, ooh, and then the vault goes.
Sorry.
No,
Sorry, Adam.
Adam's got an idea.
Sorry,
It's
Karen.
complicated.
Yeah, so
Ship's going to hit space.
I was going to say this. So the debris basically smashes into all of the the station, which will do. Let's see, the roughly the same as the ramming would do, which would be that plus that.
More spread out now.
Sorry.
Yeah, but surely its warp course is blown up because the target is the engines.
There'll be less of it to hit the station.
Ramming speed is apparently effective.
Sorry, you said that wrong. Ramming speed!
Right.
Scale of effect, spread, vicious, devastating.
So,
Ramming.
Oh,
What's devastating to?
I don't know, but it doesn't
makes it harder to
sound
repair.
Really bad.
It does,
it's a
but it
space
just makes
station.
it
It's
really
not
hard to
going
repair.
anywhere.
Oh,
It can be
okay.
it can take time to repair.
True.
So,
They've repaired more damage than this.
Yeah.
Remember the Klingon attack
They blew a pylon
of
off.
2378? Or whenever, what year it was.
Yeah, about
You know the one I'm talking
And you
about.
know,
Yeah, I
Pren's-
fought in the Klingon War. Did
Pren's
you?
family are in the old obs, so they're probably not near the promenade.
I was going to
I was
also
a
say
child.
the biggest thing is when some Jem'Hadar detonated their antimatter explosive device and blew part of the pylon off.
Adam is collecting up threat and doing
Yeah.
maths. This is not good.
Uh-oh.
I'm using it to remove, because otherwise it would basically just bounce off because its resistance is like 12 or something. Because it's, unsurprisingly, it's
It's a
big.
space
and you get
station.
Oh, the
resistance to
space
scale.
station. Right, so you're using the threat we just gave you to actually damage Deep Space and
Exactly.
Emissary's
So it's
Testament.
testament.
Yeah, otherwise it would...
451.
Yeah,
Yes.
well, I'm going to have to look at what scale it is because I don't remember off the top of my head. But yeah, roughly. That's defined. So the scale is 12, so its resistance is 12. So
Blew up a
Spend-
divine?
if we just spend the 4, that'll take 8 off. That'd be really
Okay.
I'm pretty certain the Defiant wasn't there.
Why isn't the divine there?
It's in a museum somewhere.
It is a museum somewhere.
Very
No,
small,
these ships
very
serve
small,
for a long time.
claustrophobic museum.
I was going to say,
Yeah.
Excelsior class seem to have been in service for like 40 years.
Well, yeah.
And the rest.
That's true, yeah. Kirk's
You have
80 years
serving
later.
British, craft now that have done 40 plus years. British Tornado's been around since what, the early 70s?
Yeah. And if you think the technology is so advanced that it lasts.
My brain is telling me they came into service in 1978, but I might be wrong.
Anyway, Adam
Which is
has
40
just cleared
years
off a load of threat and done
Yeah,
maths.
I thought I'd spend a couple extra bits as well, just to knock off all the resistance to the station, just to sort of represent it being in the middle of it when it was flying.
There's not full control of all the systems,
Exactly.
and the shields are a bit patchy.
Otherwise, it would have just kind of gone, oh, some scratches.
Somebody's going to have to redo the paint again.
They're really hard to buff out those scratches.
So how bad off is Deep Space?
Slightly dented now.
No.
Maybe one of the windows is cracked.
I always assume the shield.
Did what happened was that the part of the space station that gets blown up has that Jem'Hadar on it.
Yeah, that's more or less what I was going to go with. So basically, there's the explosion, and like it sort of a lot of the debris flies into like the sort of central promenade and general area, and there's lots of breaching and air flying out, and probably a few people.
All right.
Can I, at this range, can I lock on transporters? Or can I scan them?
Try.
I'll
So
show
like,
her up.
In your next
you
task.
can, yeah, you can survive a little while
Yeah.
in vacuum.
2 minutes.
Yes. And I don't know how long an action is. It's plot.
Piece of string, yeah.
Yeah, okay.
I mean, it's a
So-
ship battle. Occasionally, we'll basically sort of the conference room to have like a 10-minute chat.
Speaking of which,
So yeah, no, as long as it needs to be. But
Okay.
it is now my turn with my last ship.
yeah.
Yes, we now outnumber him on turns.
Haha!
So yeah, let's give a bit of a Hail Mary on that one and see if they can do it.
Oh, it's just going to ram us or charge us or something. Uh-oh. Spin a threat.
Roll to dodge.
Evasive
Do a
action.
barrel roll.
Control and con task.
Yeah.
Until the flight control's next task, all attacks against the ship. So I need to have already done that, which I
Yeah.
haven't, because I haven't had a turn. So I blew them up instead.
Which is fair play.
Which is fair play.
Yeah,
but
it's not going to be able to do that. Let's back into
Wait,
scan.
we're going to give you a warning. Warned you.
I think it'll do just a little bit. Flying.
Captain, they're powering up their engines and moving towards the station.
Well,
They've moved.
it's actually, well, let's
They've moved.
assume they have.
Can we do the same thing again?
Well, no, you
worked out
can't.
well last time.
That's the trouble.
Sorry?
Actually, no, you can't. It will be
Someone else's turn.
indeed.
You don't get another turn, unfortunately. Well, you do, but not to go round.
Oh.
But so Pete or someone or Keith could try and do it, but then you'd have to make it be harder. Cause
Well, before doing this, I should probably mention actually, you can take 2 turns in a row and not pass to me by spending 2 momentum,
Ooh.
which you don't think you have any.
We haven't got any
we
at the
don't.
moment
You could add to my threat to do so, or
Just keep him over there.
you can just take a next turn, or
just split them.
by spending a determination. But
Okay.
it still
As long as
doesn't
only
keep
one of you
my
counts them, it
initiative
doesn't
actually
matter.
at that point.
Okay.
You can also spend your determination to take another turn. as well, in addition to your normal allotment. The commanding officer can also direct another person as their task to do something again. So if you weren't currently in command, you could direct your tactical officer to do it again. However, this would be helpful if, like I said, if he was in command, he could just go, do that again. But unfortunately, because you're trying to do both things.
You can't tell yourself to try it.
I'm going to aggressively scan their ship. No.
You want to move?
So they're moving. Just do that and see if they actually. Oh, I already rolled for this.
Like you say, if you get nice and close when you shoot them with...
They succeed?
Yes, they did succeed. They got 2 momentum on it.
Having speed.
Actually, I'm doing whatever the captain tells me to do.
So yes, they power up and follow in a very similar like ways because someone's blocking their sensors. Otherwise, they try to transport things out from here, but someone's blocking their sensors. That's just what I was initially going to do. But
So we can't shoot again.
you can, but we want
You've
it
got to
more
do it
difficult.
again. So I
Someone
could
else
try
was doing it.
I could try and do it, or Helm could try and do it.
but it
yours
would be
was
harder.
Yours was.
Or you could spend your
Lower.
determination to take another turn and do it again
I
yourself.
don't have it.
You still do have determination.
Yeah, but do I have a thing that's?
The price for peace is vigilance.
Yeah, I'd be more willing to go with that. That you're just kind of
Because
really
you're being vigilant and stopping.
or you're really
anything.
pushing yourself so that the needs of the many, that kind of thing.
Can I do that then?
Yeah, sure. If you just want to go again, then everyone just wants down to do things.
Boom. Well, I felt like he didn't get to do a lot last time, so
Or arguably the time before. So.
that's true.
Right.
Does someone
Throw the
else
same
want to
thing
roll
again?
for the ship's helping?
I'll
this
roll
time?
for the ship, but Dan, you need.
Are you doing the same thing again?
you have more.
I've only got 2
14.
dice this time.
It's 14 Peter rolling for the
Okay.
ship.
How many successes do we need to fire the quantum torpedoes?
3.
So we've all.
So if you roll some good numbers again, because you've
But
got
we've got
13.
But the photon torpedoes are only 1 less damage scale. It's not.
But they're not vicious as well.
But they're
So
not
each effect
vicious.
doesn't add all the extra damage. Otherwise, you would have destroyed it in that one go.
That was why they're really good.
I've forgotten they were vicious as well.
Yeah.
This is why I wrote it.
So I get the ship gets 1,
One
Yeah,
dice.
it's
he gets
15.
2,
Yeah.
and we got to get 3 successes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And what's the ship's skill? 13.
14.
14, and you're 13, and you're 5.
Unsurprisingly, the tactical mode has high weapon score.
And can I if I roll under
2. Because it's the department for the ship, and the security
if I roll
department is 2.
2 or less, I get 2 successes.
Oh, fuck it,
If you roll a 5 or less, let's go for it.
So this is the fail. I'm just checking.
Yeah.
I'm gonna add.
Yeah. Here we go.
Here we go.
Ready?
Yeah.
You go.
20s across the board.
Oh god, I got a 20.
I got 1.
But you got a 1, and I got a 4.
Wicked.
That's
So
3
you got 2.
successes.
No, it's 4 successes.
Indeed, 4 successes.
Yeah. So we get a
4
momentum.
successes with another.
With a complication. So we keep just blowing the shit up on the station.
So,
Well, they keep
did
flying
we just
into the
actually
silhouette
did
of
we
the
just
station.
manage to do what we did last time?
No, you got to roll. You got to roll
We've got a lot of
damage.
damage.
So
Okay.
spend save the momentum
For the
damage.
Yeah. So, same amount of dice again?
So it's 6
6.
plus 1 for the salvo.
For the salvo, yeah.
So roll those. Come on, man, get those effects again. Or doubles. Doubles is good.
Yeah, either one's the same on this dice roll.
Okay, so
Take those out.
2 effects.
And 2 doubles.
2 doubles.
Re-rolls.
And then I will re-roll
Yep.
that.
I see
Another
blanks.
double.
Okay, so
So 6, 7, 8, 10 damage.
10 damage
With 2 effects.
Yeah.
with 2 effects, so that it doesn't have a random system.
Might be enough. So it was 13 last time. Wasn't
So it's a 7,
That was with like 4 effects last time.
Yeah.
so 10, 5, and then 2 the effects. That's 7. So 7 and 4. This is more mathsy than I thought it would be.
Yeah.
Even knowing the rules. Right, so 7 and 4. How much shield do these things have? 11, 7, 4. So that will knock it out. So
it? Just imagining the screensaver.
Does
Just
a breach.
quantum torpedoes going across.
7
saying,
does a breach.
Loading.
And because it's high yield, it also does a breach.
Yep.
So,
We got
And
3.
vicious.
you got 3,
And a scale of 3.
indeed. Which means that it's not destroyed, it is merely disabled.
Ooh.
Yeah, we
So our whole ship is going to crash into Emissary's Testament rather than a bit of a ship.
Yeah. So, yes,
I
I
call
would
that
say
weird.
the complication is, yeah, disabled, yeah, what's the word? Dead in space. Heading towards the moving a high impulse velocity.
Shit, yeah. Because it's like going like that, and you just knocked it out. It's like, whoa!
Yes, ramming speed, but you're going to have to kind of go.
Tractor beam.
Have you known
Tractor
tractor
beam.
beam in space? The film where he comes up and gets sat next to the guy, just nudges him out of the way.
Yeah.
For God's sake!
I could try. I could try and get away, but isn't it their turn next?
It is their turn next.
They can't do a lot.
They
What are
can
you
try
gonna
to repair it. I'll have you
Jem'Hadar
know.
engineers can try to repair it.
Well, actually,
God damn it,
unfortunately,
why isn't it working?
because I can't quite be bothered. Well, again, it is the recommended thing for NPC ships, because especially when I'm doing more than one of them, they just have like a general cruise course. They're as good at shooting as they are
It's fixing.
at fixing.
Yeah.
I mean, the ship.
I doubt that for a Jem'Hadar attack.
So do I, but
They probably go, oh, the ship's fucked.
a
Let's
simplification.
jump out of the airlock and fly towards the ship with our daggers out.
You've still got departments on the ship, so
yeah, sure. I know.
I just imagine trying to pick them off with
the
faces.
ship helping bit. The ship helping bit. So let's see how.
Do you want me to roll for the ship for you?
No, I roll for the attack fighter. It's easy.
It might actually work in our benefit if he,
He's not been rolling very well tonight, to be fair.
It's not rolling terribly. It's been about average, but yeah. I thought when I read that it says that if I have similar scale and I've got high security, it'd be easy.
It's fine, because I can go across and I can do damage control on Emissary's Testament.
That's cool.
Yeah, but it might still kill rather a lot of people on the first
They've got,
initial.
yeah, true. I say, we don't. We just
To be
need.
fair, the Jem'Hadar have killed a load of people already. So.
Generally speaking, though, it's not good. It's not
Might
good
crash
stuff.
into the
It's
museum.
policy. It better not.
Disabled.
I was obviously joking about that. I didn't mean
Which
that.
bit?
That's my Cardassian nature coming out.
Damage.
No, but they have.
We didn't put it
My
past
obsidian
them.
order training. No, I know.
We are the worst Starfleet ever.
we've done really well.
I think we're the Orville.
No, we're currently worse off than the Orville, I think.
Overall, we have generally succeeded, just in a rather
Roundabout
explosive
fashion.
fashion.
Yeah.
Literally.
Firefly?
Probably more akin. To be
Oh
honest.
dear.
Oh,
Going on.
They roll 20s and then blow.
Unfortunately.
Warp core breach.
That'd be amazing.
Implodes. Were they 20s?
No, there weren't unfortunately any 20s.
Can I fire a...
We should actually probably. Do you actually want to roll which system would actually hit? Actually, no, you don't do systems on the side. It's not super brilliant. No,
fire engine?
Yeah, did you aim?
Sorry?
What were you
no,
targeting?
he had to be using torpedoes.
It would have been.
Ah,
it would have been. Yeah.
God, we're not even aiming.
Can we...
Fire! Fine!
Let's see what the outcome of whatever they did is, because we
Sure.
might be in a different position.
If they're like about to blow up and they're careering towards the space station, I might go for the trigger the wormhole option.
Oh, okay.
See if they get sucked into the wormhole. I know you have to fly into the wormhole in the show, but hey.
Gravity.
No, you can drift into it.
Yeah, there's generally a gravity well, but it's not strong enough to pull like an impulse ship off course into it, is it?
Probably not.
But
Let's see
knows?
what happens.
Yeah.
There are things.
it's just what's going through Griot's mind.
I tried to decide. No, they just failed to. I can't think of anything interesting, so they just failed to repair it. It is
Okay.
hard.
Yeah.
Right, your guys' turn.
Alright.
So are they careering towards the station?
Yep.
Are they like past the wormhole?
Yeah, well, the wormhole.
Oh, the wormhole. Oh, of course, yeah. Shit.
Is
I
there
think we need
anything,
some fancy
including
flying.
warp, we could do to get between them and the station?
That's not a bad idea.
We can
Yeah.
do warp and move two
Yeah.
zones at once.
No, it could,
Towards the emissary's testament.
Yes, it could be.
Between the.
Yes, it could be a brilliant idea, or we're going to end up in ops.
Yeah. We will be ops.
No, if the ship crashes into us rather than the space station, I think that would be a better idea.
That's
Yeah.
fine.
That's my current theory.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm going to prepare the transporter to beam me off the ship.
But in fact, we can use warp to move that many zones. It's not even a thing you roll, but then I presume I would need to use something like evasive action to
You
get
can
in
also
the way.
you can just
when I
use
get there.
impulse, to be honest. I
Can't
mean,
you-
warp does sound like a fun, cool thing, but you could.
Yes, warp it.
But
You're going to warp
If we
in there.
can get there fast,
Just hit the button, hit the button.
no, we are Starfleet. If we can get there sensibly at warp, we'll impulse. But I presume then I need to get in the way with something like evasive action.
Yeah, it probably would take two actions.
So I think we're gonna have to
So
warp.
yeah, probably doesn't make
Warp it.
sense.
I'm gonna on the screen.
Do I need to
I'm gonna
roll
bring up
to
a
get in the way
zoomed-in
as well as
view
warp?
of the
I
ship
think
going
we'll
south and the station
Yes,
there.
but when we walk, we're going to be like, ah!
So this takes 2 power either way.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm going to say that it's normally difficulty 0. I'm going to say getting
Denoria spell.
I'm going to roll for the ship.
the door spell makes it
No,
more
you're
harder.
not.
I'm
No,
getting
you're
in the way at warp
think
at this
you should
distance.
Pete hasn't rolled anything yet.
2, so I'm going to say 3.
3.
I'm going to say difficulty 3.
You gonna roll for the ship?
I'm gonna roll for the
Have we got any momentum?
No.
We're
No,
out
it's
of
meant to
all
be rolled.
kinds of.
Are you sure you want to roll for the ship?
Again,
You
you
should
can
do
add dice
Do
that
it.
by adding to threat.
He is the captain after all, the real
Yes.
captain.
You can add
And-
dice by adding to threat.
He's
so
gonna
that's
roll
So,
funny.
Lee's is where I'm on control and con.
Wait,
Uh,
wait for her to roll.
Oh, he's
Isn't it-
rolled. He's
Okay,
rolled.
you've rolled.
Good.
Okay.
Control and con. She's probably on, isn't she? That's for evasive and attack. Or
Oh,
daring.
Oh,
Daring.
control and
Daring.
con. Oh, yeah, we'd go daring on this. It's tricky.
I mean,
speaking,
if
isn't it?
it was me,
absolutely.
it would be two successes.
Control or daring?
Control.
But it's just the ship.
What's better?
Control.
Okay. Control and
Control and con. So she's on 14.
And you realise you're still getting in the way of the ship here,
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the plan.
yeah. As I said, I'm preparing the transporter.
Can we roll and then give you threat to add dice?
yeah?
Or do we
No.
have to do it beforehand? Because
Yes.
we could take threat and add
Gain
dice.
gain a threat.
Gain a threat and add a dice.
Gain a threat.
Gain a threat and add a dice.
Yeah, no, you had the dice before the roll.
Oh,
Oh,
is there any way that we get
Tractor beam.
in front of it
Can I
so
tractor
it
beam?
hits us?
And
That's
that'd be
the
a different-
idea.
This is
But
difficult enough to
before
get
it
in
hits
time.
us, like either we tractor beam it to bounce it away, or we change our hull configuration to
Be
something.
like a ramp.
Yeah, or, no, something silly
Bungee.
like no, not but like something, something else that it can slide off of.
If you get enough
come-
momentum, I'll let you keep the
round.
initiative and say that it's my turn for you to run into you.
Oh, okay.
So if you get 2 momentum, you can spend those on it
And tractor beam it.
Okay.
and get another
Yeah,
task
no,
and try to tractor beam.
Or adjust the hull. Or adjust the hull.
Or just the hull.
Or do something else.
Make a ramp.
Right, well, let's see how we
Fire
go.
again and blow it up.
So we need 3.
No, I can't go again, can I?
So we need 3. The ship has got 1.
Yes.
You've done
So we need 2.
Yeah.
Need 2 to do it. Need
Ugh.
another couple to get to actually not stop it hitting.
How many have you done?
1.
Oh, of course, yeah, only sporting character. You won't have your
She's
main
only
thing at
sporting
5 yet.
character, so she's
Next
not
scene
got,
she
she
plays, she'll
doesn't
probably
get
will.
5.
No, she'll probably be dead after this action.
So what happened?
And what did you get?
The ship got 1 and I got 1, but we need 3.
Okay.
So you didn't, unfortunately, get in the way in time.
Can we succeed with communication?
Oh, sure. I think that makes it. As I say,
I think so.
Let's succeed with the
Let's
competition.
proceed with the complication.
Better us than the.
Better us than
Because
Deep
you've
Space
beamed
Nine.
everyone off the ship as well, haven't you? Into combat.
An awful lot of the ship is.
Yeah, because we don't have the
Deep Space Nine.
families yet. We don't have all that stuff.
A lot of it's on
So
Deep
there's
Space
a
Nine.
lot of it's still on
Yeah.
Deep Space Nine. So let's
All
protect.
Major now.
Yeah, or let's protect Emissary's Testament rather than.
Yeah.
You know.
Like, we got this.
Yeah, we're protecting.
Yeah.
We're protecting the families, the rest of the crew, and the Emissary's Testament at cost of complication.
Which is, part of our. I mean, we need to collect them. They need to be alive for us to collect them.
Excellent.
How
And
implausible
we need
is
to-
that?
We
What?
need
do
to
you mean?
maintain.
Well, Primus is
Wasn't there
currently,
one-
again, this is behind the scenes and your characters don't necessarily. Primus is currently shrouded, floating in space, but he can breathe the air. Well, he doesn't. He's
He'll
changeling
breathe-
enough. He can.
yeah.
He cannot. Doesn't need to
We could
breathe.
have ran
Oh, man.
Primus.
How
It's going to be on the front windshield.
No such luck.
How about a complication where one of your shuttles flies out of the bay as you do this warp thing, and then in the collision afterwards,
Yeah, there's like a massive clash. The
and happens
containment
to
field
spin
goes
near
down,
him.
and he gets on the shuttle.
And
Well,
fucks off.
he'll have to have a few rolls of going at it, but with that,
I was going to say,
Yeah,
that's
no,
too
I get-
plausible.
No,
I was
that's
gonna say
fine.
the shot comes drifting
I
past.
like Because our power and holographic systems might fluctuate slightly. And like shuttlecraft.
exactly as you warp in,
Yeah,
and you
like,
because you
and
pushed
then,
it,
like,
the shuttle kind of
Well, and
flies
because
out.
maybe it's not the only thing. There's like
Yeah.
some cargo containers,
What
a few
about-
crew members.
What about
No, I
They
mean,
have the thing.
rather than one of our shuttles,
Yeah.
there were a load of civilian ships docked on the station.
oh, that's not bad. yeah.
when
knock loose.
Yeah, when the other ship crashed into one of them got loose. So not only do
No,
we-
because there'll be some people on board that ship, and then
Yeah,
you
he's
kill them.
that's fine.
No, that's not.
No, but what I was trying to go with was
Whichever you think would be a more interesting story.
Needs-
Well, that's
Yeah.
what I'm thinking. From
Yeah.
a story point of view,
Yeah.
we would be like, well, he's dead.
Yeah.
And then, but
Oh,
if
yeah,
he gets
okay,
away
yeah.
in civilian transport, it's like, we think he's dead, but he's got away. And
Yeah,
he
if, he
is
gets,
not.
if we lose a shuttle, we'll chase a shuttle.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
We lose a civilian ship,
That
we
makes
presume he's
Especially
dead.
if all of a sudden it jumps off the warp.
Even,
like,
I
"Oi."
mean,
Yeah.
it could just be because they said there's like little shuttles that go between Bajor and Deep Space Nine. Basically, it could just be one of them. It doesn't even need to be
Taxi.
manned at the moment.
Yeah.
He's found himself a ship, basically.
Yes. A small Primus on civil ship.
Yes.
And
Okay.
yeah, because
Okay.
we would be like, well, he's dead. We just
So yes, that's the
blew up.
complication you
Yeah.
get for getting in the way. Fortunately, you just don't get enough to do anything about it hitting you.
But even so, it's hitting
He's
us.
not away yet. He's on the ship.
And it's hitting us, not Deep Space
Ooh,
Nine.
ooh, an alert button. Brace for impact.
Indeed.
I got a probe, bud.
Unfortunately, it operates the one on your chair.
For funsies, just so your ship doesn't get red damaged. Actually,
Oh, he wants to see what happens first. Oh, shit. I don't want to sit too close.
What does that do on this one? Remembering all of the effects.
Well, come on, that's going to be...
Spread, that's what I needed, so I need one. It's good, so we'll do that. Roll that one.
So I've got a space station here that we can dock
Yeah, we can do it once.
It's going to hit
So-
us, and we're going to hit that.
So, dip. Remove
Nah,
resistance, so it has the
interested in that.
piercing quality, more or less.
Oh.
Fine, we've got a bait of armour.
Yeah, that's why it's been 4 rather than 3.
Oh, bypassing that.
It's ablated! It's ablated!
It seemed like a good idea at the time, Captain.
So,
No, it's still a
what's
good
that?
idea.
It is a good
Spread.
idea.
So, 7 damage. So, yeah, 7 damage. So that's a breach.
After, so you took out a shield.
Half rounded up for 5.
Yep.
So 2 breaches,
2 breaches.
indeed, on random systems.
How,
Who
so how
rolls
many
for the
breaches
random?
is... Oh, 6. We're scale 6, isn't it? Okay.
Yeah. Basically, on your particular ship, you can actually repair hologrammatically 2 breaches on any particular system
Okay.
by spending a bit of power and things, which is something
Yeah.
a normal ship couldn't do unless they had someone with his
So
particular
where are
talent.
they going to go?
I don't know. Let's see. Actually, do you guys want to roll?
Captain, we've got damage reports coming in from across the ship.
Do we
Let's
want
find
to
out
roll
where
for where they
they're
are? No, Adam is.
Communications and structure.
The panel explodes the Koloff's
Sorry, that should be funny. But it is.
So let's see what
You were
that-
saying
Right,
before...
you can get
you were saying...
transported to my other character.
You were saying before the show
Yes, that
that-
she's...
that she was going to die from a panel exploding in
We
her
were,
face.
yes, saying... But, yes, we have 2 breaches, however.
What was the other one, sorry?
Communications.
Communications and structure.
Oh, okay.
So communications is probably
Well,
the least useful
you
to
can
in
fix
damage
that.
because
Yeah.
until you do restore minor action, you cannot perform or assist tasks involving the communication system. So currently your communications are knocked out until you're going to go boop, boop, rerouted. Oh God! Need a turn.
Oh, sorry.
And no, there is, and the structure one means that if I'd rolled an effect on that particular dice, a panel would have exploded and lethally injured.
Can't you use a threat to re-roll that
But
die?
I don't care. Still believe it.
No, I
It would
think
be
you
you're
should.
about
So
to take your ship out.
Come on, I want to see how much damage I can take because I'm quite tough. So
It
Well,
doesn't
for
do
my-
damage.
I
it
want a
just
cool
lethally damages.
scar. I want a cool scar.
that I can do that for you.
Unfortunately, it doesn't go through the damage process. It just
alright,
immediately
no.
lethally.
If I were there, I'd be like, come on, let's open catch.
So yes, you get, and yeah, some of your holographic stuff is damaged a bit.
Okay,
Okay.
Crashed into.
Cool.
so we're all right.
Catch there going,
That's a good result.
Oh, and your shields are down to
43%. Sorry.
by 12.
Oh.
They were 13.
run!
Oh.
Run!
They're down to 7%, Captain.
This is why we have an engineer, though.
Well,
But yeah, this is gone.
I think yeah.
You took to put them there.
But are we done with the combat?
Indeed. Well, there are, like I say, so the ship crashes into it, explodes. There's like a core. The shields take most of it. Some of the holographic systems get a bit damaged. Your communications are offline until you do.
There we go.
You currently have a couple of breaches, but they'll probably repair in downtime unless someone else
Oh, I was
appears.
going to say, I can probably... I'd like to do an engineering thing to fix them as I'm sitting in engineering with things going...
Sure, but more importantly, there are still like civilians in space from the previous breaches.
I am now
on DS9.
scanning. I'm scanning and I'm relaying them to Lieutenant Ilya. Is it Ilya, the transporter chief?
Yeah, but
Yeah.
this is still a big scene, so unfortunately you're not playing the supporting characters. They can't do anything other than help you. So
I will beam them in.
exactly.
Yes.
Can I assist from engineering?
And if you want to use up your task instead of preparing stuff to help,
At this point, yes.
sure.
Did we have any momentum?
No.
Son of a bitch.
Again, you can add to threat.
Well, it's okay because I get some stuff going on with the rerolls. When you attempt
So
a
are they doing
task
their
assisted by a ship's computers, essentially you may reroll 1d20, which may be the ship's die. So I get 2 dice.
Computers or sensors, is it?
Computers or sensors.
Neat.
Yeah. And because I'm a science officer, when I'm assisted by computers or sensors, or a tricorder, I get an extra momentum.
Good.
Is it
Right.
neutral
Which kind of
the
used on the
ship?
So
information
reason
task, I think.
and engineering.
No, Sam can help. Will the ship get to help as well?
Does the ship help?
Yeah.
Does its
With one
damageness
dice.
make a difference?
You only get 1 dice to help.
Or is it
again,
control and engineering?
Oh, I only get one dice to help him.
Indeed, because you're assisting.
Yeah.
Oh, fine. It's passed with zero. So.
Yeah, they're both a pass. So.
I'm just deciding.
Because it's fine. Is it fine work, or is it like if I change the annular confinement beam to narrow
Well,
it
you're
down?
not having difficulty censoring them. It's more of a speed thing, I'd say. So it's
Sure.
not really thinking it through. So I'd say not reason.
But we have
Yeah,
fast
so
targeting
control or
systems.
Control, daring,
and it's
possibly
engineering,
insight
isn't
because
it?
you're trying to find them. But yeah,
It's engineering or science. It's engineering. isn't it?
engineering, I'd say.
Okay.
Is the
Maybe
ship
security.
helping with
Fast targeting systems without my aid, such
Only if you were shooting them.
I well,
Is the
I'm maybe putting them out of their misery. No.
Is the,
That's why they
ship,
call it a transporter beam.
is the ship helping with sensors and engineering?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. I am going to roll
It's 12.
control
Yes.
and engineering.
Sure.
I can't roll tonight.
Difficulty 1 to get some of them.
Sorry.
Passed
the
on to you.
table.
You could spend momentum.
Yeah, no,
to get more.
the ship is in a sulk.
It's
It's exploded. It is cross.
I got 2 successes.
I got one. So.
Got 1, so you got 3. I'd say 3's enough to get all of them.
I'm going to re-roll a die
Mhm.
because I can. I've got the same number. Great.
That's 2 successes.
At least it wasn't worse.
So 3 successes.
So 3 successes. So I said the difficulty 1, so you've got 2 momentum. I think 2 momentum is probably enough to get all of them. But you
Okay.
get your bonus momentum, I think.
Yes.
Is that only on finding information, though, I think, is it?
It is may only be used on the obtain information momentum spend.
Sure.
So did I
Where are all the Jem'Hadar gone?
did I send as I'm like scanning for picking people up? Did I sense Primus out in the void?
Yeah, if you want.
That's what I want to spend the momentum.
Well, you
on.
didn't spend them. You didn't find him out in the void. You found him sort of.
Well, you know what I mean. Like I'm scanning the whole area to like pick up people in space and stuff. I'm like,
I went,
oh,
oh.
hang on, is the Primus' signature anywhere?
You find an odd blank space, sort of on like a slight sort of weird, like unusual signal on one of the civilian ships that's docked. That you're a bit. It might be a shrouded Jem'Hadar.
Okay, but there's lots of that going on.
Not outside the station, no. And this is out in the void vacuum of space.
Oh, so the civilian
And-
ship is flying,
No, currently it's just
docked.
It's just docked.
Okay.
Can you beam me
And
over
it's
there?
currently on the outside of that ship.
What,
And
into space?
there are no,
No, a
there are no other shrouded Jem'Hadar.
Outside of the ship.
Yeah.
Rematch.
Okay.
There are no other shrouded Jem'Hadar in space because they can't breathe in space, and so they unshroud when they go into space and die.
Yeah, sure.
Can you beam
You
me
off
off the
not
ship?
my ship.
Anyway,
Oh, awesome. Captain, I'm picking up, I believe, Primus on the exterior of this ship. Up on screen. And then I'd switch to like a strange
Is it the exterior or on the inside? Or has it got
spectrographic
fans way in
view.
yet?
isn't
And there's like a void, a
rough
blob.
one.
Yeah. Zoom. Zoom. Anytime. No,
and it's only there, it's only there briefly because the shroud isn't strictly speaking detectable, but it's just like briefly on the outside.
yeah. It's like a wobble. I replay the wobble. Captain, this is looks like the signature gap of a shrouded Jem'Hadar in the void of space. I think there's only one of them that would be able to survive in the void of space.
Beam me over to that ship.
I'm going to beam
Yes,
him to
sir.
the ship.
I was going to say, you beam him next to him.
Yeah. But yes, I beam you there in a spacesuit. No, your combat just got a thing.
Yeah.
You can go and fight him on the
Why
exterior of
can't
the
I
ship.
just fight him inside?
Because he's not in the ship. He's on the outside of the ship.
And you get the get off. It's like get off the ship.
Yeah.
Duff.
Yeah.
Simulate this. Oh wait.
He's shrouded. Watch out. You get stabbed in the back. What do you want me to beam into the
Hey,
ship?
Can you beam me onto the hull and I can fight him on the hull?
I can, but you need a suit or your
Can you beam me there with a
press your
suit
triple
on?
com badge thing. You get your survival outfit for the holographic. Remember, our com badges
You can have another one.
Oh, no,
have a
no, suit.
survival suit built into them, like a.
I thought it was more bubble than fightable, though.
Okay, right. Okay.
To be honest,
it's
I
not
thought
like
like a
skin. It's like a.
so you
I
can-
imagined it was more of a bubble. But
Okay, right.
I think that's
okay.
what we discussed
Can
at the
I
time.
beam him down
So
in a
you could sort of
space?
bounce. But yeah.
Can I beam him and a
You can have a go.
spacesuit down
But you know, I would say that's obviously with risks.
into the airlock nearest him on the so that you're in the ship
And he's still
in a
shrouded.
spacesuit.
So
I was going to say there's obvious risks to this. I should probably mention.
Hey,
Let's do it. It's
yeah,
awesome.
Okay, let's do it.
Okay, so
Yes, Captain.
I think we'll drop out of roundy stuff there because there's not any spacey stuff happening, and it's probably going to be Dan doing things.
I'm almost tempted to come back to the bridge and go.
It's about
"Right,
5'2".
where is he? And drive the ship at him and hail him. Primus, you wanted the ship? Here it is.
Look up.
Squish.
If that's all right, because the breaches are easily repairable outside. You can roll for it later if you want.
Sure,
Keith, but
sure.
You'll probably do it.
Yeah, that's fine.
two
20s.
You can roll for it later,
Did you
Keith.
roll a 20?
I did, but I also got 4 successes.
Jesus wept.
Anyway,
You're like such a rushed engineer. Like a fucking cat cat. Like, yeah, it's all done. Yeah, don't worry. And then like, in the background, just going.
So I accidentally welded a crewman in there.
okay, so make me beaming over there
Okay,
roll,
beaming over there, roll.
because it might be followed quickly by
Can the
beaming him
ship-
back there roll.
Can the ship help me? How hard is it? I'm going to beam him
I warn you, the ship is
Into-
currently not impressed with the current state
into
of
a
affairs.
spacesuit
12.
Mhm.
12.
It's always 12.
onto the ship,
No,
Well-
what you're doing is 12.
so that
Yeah.
you can then step outside.
Can the
Power
ship
doesn't
help?
match
And
its
if
point.
if
Yeah,
it doesn't
Actually,
quite work,
I'm going with a weapon, right? Someone.
you've got a weapon on you, haven't you?
Sorry?
You
Yeah,
are-
I'll have
you
my
are a
phaser.
weapon.
I have my phaser.
Have a
Wait,
favourite
I'll
rifle.
roll first. Then
So you can do a face rifle as well, but that's just
no.
That's only going to make it harder.
Yeah.
I'll have my phaser on.
In
You're
the
a Starfleet combat
transporter
issue, not-
beam, I'm going to meld the
I am a
suit
weapon.
and the phaser, so he's got it built into his arm. No.
Please don't.
It's fine. I am a weapon.
Right. Traditionally, this is a control plus engineering task.
Okay.
Generated by the ship, such as ships plus engineering.
The ship
I would
that's
say difficulty 4.
been rolling
Because
increasingly
sensors
badly.
plus engineering.
Yeah.
And I'm control.
I reckon
and
you're
engineering.
going to roll
Difficulty
good
Difficulty
because
4.
you're beaming the Vulcan off
Okay.
the ship.
I mean,
I would also,
I've got
if
dice.
there's something
One.
so random, I'd also allow daring plus engineering.
So on the yeah, I'm not really a daring chap.
I am.
So on the last one, I got a momentum for my special thing, but didn't I
Yes.
get another momentum anyway? Because you said it was 2 and I got 3.
No, I said it was I said it was 2 momentum to get everyone. It was
Okay.
difficulty 1, but 2 momentum to get
Right.
difficulty 1 to get some of them, 2 momentum to get everyone, and then you
Okay.
got the information one. But yeah, so no momentum.
I'm going to add a threat to get another die.
Okay.
Okay.
Oh, God damn it.
So yes, difficulty 4. I was going to say because this
Well,
is
it's difficulty
unsurprisingly
4.
very difficult.
You want me to beam you into you're beaming you into a close combat situation that increases the threat.
And yes,
Totally worth it.
transporting both.
Not for the fact you rolled a fucking
Well done.
20.
Roll the dice.
Don't roll a
don't.
20.
Yeah!
helped.
Ship helped.
So how many successes?
Not enough.
3. Yeah, 2 for me, 1 over there.
Is there anything else you want to do
Can
to get
I-
a success?
To something to reroll.
Yeah, because you've got the engineering thing. You've got the thing.
Oh, I have because the ship helped me.
Yes!
Yes,
See,
I
you were
can
so
reroll
worried.
1d20.
I enjoyed letting you stew there for a
Yeah.
second, knowing you could re-roll it.
Look at that! I've got 2 successes there.
Aren't you glad you do the
Ah!
glad you're the operations officer?
Yes, 4 successes in total. Look at that!
Oh, yeah, we worried there for a moment, mate.
Oh my god! Yeah, you're like, oh, hang on! Oh, yeah.
I got him, I don't got him! Oh!
Fun.
You're being 6 inches above the hull, so you can't actually move.
Now you appear in a fully sealed
So
spacesuit
the ship is
in the
cooperating
airlock
to get the
of
Vulcan
the ship.
off the ship.
The helmet's
Which-
on backwards.
I told
It's
you!
cooperating
I
to
said,
get the Vulcan off the ship.
Take a look at that.
And you just
We'll
have to
end.
wander up.
We'll end.
With you sort of as you're beaming in, as the to a point thing because everything kind of appears from a point.
It's going to be coming in, isn't it? That'd be awesome.
The door is kind of opened. The outside of the airlock is opens.
And we finished there. And he's ready with a nerve pinch. He's got a special spacesuit where his fingers stick out. With a very thin, like, cling film over them.
Oh, there could just be 2 extra bits on the space.
Oh, yes! Excellent. Like, really long prod. So you go,
Just imagine this
Okay.
guy's just been like,
That's really
I
cool.
want my ship, boom. Oh, damn, I'm
Thanks,
space. A Vulcan.
We're sorry we didn't quite finish.
I was going to say, I didn't realise it would take this long. I was like, oh, I reckon this will take about 2, maybe 3 sessions.
What,
So that's the end of the 4th session of this particular mission.
Hey, it's a good. We're having fun. It's great.
Yeah,
I should have just had him die. It would have been quicker.
Now what are you going to do?
We've done Starship Combat. We've done a bit of Daring Do.
Sort of. You did one side of Starship Combat.
Us blowing the shit out of things.
Oh, and we got hit.
we did
We
get
We did
it.
get it. Yeah, we did. We did.
But mostly because we let it drive in.
True. Cool. Okay. Well, thank you very much for watching episode 6 of Star Trek Morpheus. Please don't forget to go and check out Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, our YouTube channel with all our other shows. Podcast. Go and follow that as well because that always helps. Go and check out
the podcast.
Yes. Go and check out our Discord. And please check out our Patreon. Everyone who supports us makes it a bit better for everybody else and helps out the great charity of Diabetes UK. So please go and check that out. There are links for all of those things below. Also, our friends and sponsors of the channel, the Thornless Rose, go and check out their awesome Kickstarter, which is already 800% funded. That's really cool. And Free RPG Day, I'll be releasing a free RPG. So you guys can get that. It's 4 pages-ish. It's going to be 5 by the time I finish.
Like I said, the character sheet doesn't count.
No, that's
not in
true.
any of the one-page RPGs I've read. It doesn't really.
That's true. That's true. Okay, so it's 3 pages.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Right. Anyway, thank you very much for watching Star Trek Morpheus.
Mhm.
That was a lot of fun.
That was cool, man.
And we'll see you in a couple of weeks for more fun with the USS Enterprise G.
Indeed.
Bye-bye.